Welcome to my EQS channel, where I tell everything about my new EQS 450 Plus from Mercedes-Benz. Today we have a closer look into the car. Last video was about the outside of the car and some features we were able to detect on that car and what I feel about that. Is it good, is it bad, or neutral? And today we have a look at the inside, and first, of course, what the driver sees. And well, it's a car with a steering wheel and four wheels just to the bottom. Yeah, it looks like a normal car, and this normal car has very much similarities with the fossil car from Mercedes-Benz, the S-Class it's called. At Mercedes-Benz, Model S is from Tesla. So the S-Class, and the main instrument cluster you see here in front represents what Mercedes-Benz does in the moment, and you find kind of these instrument clusters at a Mercedes A-Class or C-Class, and last year I had an A-Class and a C-Class as loaners in Portugal and Spain, and well, they have the same appearance, so Mercedes-Benz draws from the box it has. Here we have it quite big, but this is not the Hyperscreen. If you look over to the middle, you have this multimedia screen. It's also called at Mercedes-Benz this way. And this is exactly finished into the dashboard as it was with the first Model S. And if you look at it, you have this multimedia screen integrated in the dashboard. You have the instrument cluster in front of you. So this is not made as Tesla has, but this is straightforward design of engineers, where they say, how do we want to place that? And yeah, we'll do so. And this will result in the same features. But when Tesla, for example, looked into their new design for the Model 3 and Model Y, they omitted the dashboard because they said, well, we will drive autonomous in the future and we do not need it. Well, today we're not driving autonomous, but we're driving with most of our hands. So we need a dashboard, and this dashboard delivers what you like to have, the speed on the left-hand side and the amount of power the car delivers in percent on the right-hand side. And there is, of course, in this type of car, a head-up display, which you might see a little bit here with these 0 kilometers per hour indicated, and this black opening in the dash is the head-up display. So the Hyperscreen, I would like to have it, but it wasn't on sale. It's reserved for the bigger cars, the 580 and the 53, I think it's called, or 43, 53, 53, AMG. And here with this, just with the rear-wheel drive motor, you can't get it at the moment, even not for money, and it costs 10 grand. So the advantage of this situation here, where you have the integrated screen and the separated instrument cluster, is the dashboard is quite flat. With the Hyperscreen, it goes up here quite high, and if there are smaller people, they aren't able to look above that hood above the instrument cluster, and this is not that good. So I think this positioning of the screens is better than the Hyperscreen for a normal drive. If you're fond of big screens and lots of IT and gimmicks as I am, then the Hyperscreen would be better. I'm quite tall, so I'm looking right above that, but yeah, that's it. Next is the upper cover of the dashboard, and this is in AMG style, space gray it's called, with this red stitching on it, and this is not completely perfect, because if the sun is shining very sharp onto the dashboard, then you have a little bit of gray reflection in the windshield, and that's not perfect. It's 95% okay, but it's not perfect. I would prefer, if I wouldn't have bought this car already prefabricated, I would have ordered a black one and not this space gray. Next is the dashboard in the front. You see here the gray design. I like wood. Yeah, every kind of wood. So this reminds me to old coaches, and it's friendly, it's warm. But AMG means technical stuff, cool, modern, and so you have these little star emblems on it. I will have a separate video at night. You can see there's some coloring, ambient lights, light show going on, and these stars, I think they are lighted from behind, if I remember right. I just was one time at night on the road, and there I looked for the digital light, which is, oh, gorgeous. Yeah, so this is the dashboard, and you have those two vents on the left and on the right. And the big screen in the middle prevents to have these typical outlets of Mercedes, 3 big ones. They are prohibited here, and therefore you have this line of vents up here, which you can direct by hand. And it's well integrated, looks good, but having those 2 round ducts here to the car is, yeah, it's not very harmonious. So either you have straight outlets or you have round ones, but mixed is not my favorite design for a car. Then you can see here is the one loudspeaker of the Burmeister system. Here up is another one, and there are some in the back, and this sound system is as good as the one in Tesla from Zinn, which is a German one, or was a German one before it was bought in by Harman Kardon, I think. And this Burmeister, I think, it's Danish or Swedish, or it's even German. I have no idea, but it's up to the top. It's a very, very good, very close to ideal system. Then have a better look at the steering wheel, and here you have the lever for the flasher indicator, and here for the gear selector, as you typically expect to have. There is a adjustment for the steering wheel in heights and in and out. And one of the most discussed features of that car is this touch and press thing on the steering, on the spoke of the steering wheel. The left block acts on the dashboard, on the instrument cluster in the dashboard, and the right one acts on the multimedia screen. So there is a separation of both, but this is plastic. This is not this plastic cladded by metal like these recuperation settings, minus and plus, or the turn for the wiper. This is cool metal cladded plastic, which is very haptic and very, very good. But this is pure plastic, and on the right hand side, if I'm turning the volume for the speakers up and down, it works perfectly. If I have on the left hand side here the setting for the speed, then it works or it works not. So this is probably, it's a fault in the system, but it's not that easy for a beginner to work with that. There's a setting plus and minus for 10 kilometers per hour. I think in the US it's 5 miles, where you switch it up and down. But this is not perfect. No. The normal A-class, C-class setting, I think they are better, they are more haptical. And which this system has, it has a resume button where you resume to the old setting of your autopilot or enhanced assistance system. And this resume button is missing at Tesla, and this is a wonderful piece where you can say resume to the old setting, and then the car keeps on with the old settings for automatic. moving. Here on the left hand side you have the typical Mercedes seat adjustment, where you have the switches for the seat not down below the seat but in the door, and here you can have the headrests, the back, everything turning. This is a perfect seat adjustment, and here you have the settings for 3 memory configurations, and then the cooling, the heating and the cooling. So here you switch on heating of the seat in 3 levels, and this is cooling of the seats in 3 levels, and this is a perfect button. If you switch this, then you can adjust the seat on the passenger side with this setting on the left. So if you have elderly people sitting on the right on the passenger seat, then you can adjust the seat for them. Perfect. Not that perfect is you have a steering wheel heating, and this is always connected to the seat heating. I'm a one who does the seat heating or needs the seat heating quite never. But I like the heating of the steering wheel very much, and both are connected together. You can configure it over the multimedia screen, but you will have a slight heating of the seat when you want to have the wheel heated. That's not that good. No, I don't like that. The multimedia screen has a separate set of switches, which at Tesla are soft switches on the screen. Here we have a separate line of switches, and this does not look very, will it hold for 10 or 20 years? I don't know. What you have a haptic feedback. It's reacting if you're pressing on it. Above the multimedia screen is the mirror, and in the mirror, on the lower side of the mirror, you have the keys or the switches for opening the garage doors. So this works perfectly and very, very fast. And up here we have a kind of additional console where you have the light, where you have the sunroof, the light for reading, for the room light, for the sunroof, for calling emergency, and all that. And there is a ambient lighting around as well. So, and here are 2 cameras in it where you can which look after your gesture. This has a gesture control. I haven't figured it out yet completely, and that gesture control goes over those cameras in there. And there is a touch panel for the roof up and down and the cover of the roof. So I stopped that because I have the camera mounted up there. So if you have this look at that car and compare it to a Tesla, then you have a normal fossil car with, say, 100 different functions and separate switches all over. And with this car, you have, say, 50 haptical switches out there, and the rest is in the multimedia screen. And at Tesla, you have a dozen manual switches, mostly in the wheel, and the rest is in the system. So this is an intermediate system where you combine, best of both worlds. Probably I like the wiper control at a several lever. I like the speed control in a separate system, not on the gear selector. So this is weird, and you can't stop one on that. You have to key in the brake, or it's not that easy. There is a middle console, and this is very, very difficult in terms of getting dirty. This is piano lacquer on it, or kind of glossy plastic, and if you put your finger on, you see it, and if there are poles in the air, they will stick to it, and this turns quite fast, turns into a not that good looking piece. There's a place for a smartphone which is charged by induction. There are USB ports, 2 here, and there are 2 other ones down there below the middle console. There are 2 more in here. I think we have more in the back seat, so there's lots of room. And yeah, that's it from the front. Now I'm sitting here on the back seat, and the front seat is still in the position I had during driving, and I'm quite a tall man, not that giant type of man, but I'm tall. I'm in the upper 15% of my age group, and I'd like it to have the seat a little bit in the back and not to sit that directly behind the steering wheel, have a little bit more space. And so the seat is quite in the back, and have a look how big the space is I have down here. And my legs are well rested on the cushion, and this is real space. And here on the top there's a lot of space above my head. So this is a big car. It is 5 meters and 21 centimeters long, so really, really long, and has the big battery below, so that the front axle and the back axle are very much on the outside. So the inner space compares to a Mercedes S-Class in the length version. So in this, there is no length version to the EQS, but the space is really, really good. This car has the premium back seats, but not the very top ones. So there is a little bit of features in the back. You see the Burmeister sound system here. You have an electric adjustment of the angle of the seat. Probably you can see it here, front. And then there is heating and cooling of the seats as well. You hear the pump running, the compressor. Yeah, there's space here, more space here. And the middle armrest is foldable to the back, so that there are space for 4 of us. The is foldable for a better view in the back. The armrest has some cup holders in here. There's specialty in handling. You have to do it twice. Then here you're able to charge your phone. And here there's a rest of plastic which covered these piano lacquer, and you're not able to remove that. So I don't know how to do this. So next time I'm going through the garage, it will take 2 years hopefully, they have to remove that. More space here, all smooth, all very, very good finish. There is a, well, climate control down here with different temperatures left and right, vents down, vents up, and here you can adjust it for your personal needs. There's another vent here, so you have individual climate on every seat. There's a hook for your jacket, which Tesla isn't able to deliver since 8 years. So this is comfort in a very high quality. There's light in the top, on the side. It's very good in the night. There are not reflections in the front. Very good to use. And there are cushions on the headrests. Headrests are adjustable. I hope you can see it here again. Top, down. And there are speakers up here and here, and there are microphones up here, I think for remote asking Was it? So this was it from the back seats. They are very much like the front seats. The massage function are missing because it's not the top function. Here in the middle you can buy some sort of tablet for entertainment. That's not in here as well. This is comfortable, big space, and usable for family, usable for a company's car where you often have passengers. So this is a big car, bigger than most of the electric cars, which have quite a slim tail line for the air resistance. This one is a big one. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. There's more to come. Stay tuned.